In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna tells us, among thousands of men, scarcely one strives for spiritual perfection. And among those blessed ones who seek me, scarcely one perceives me as I am. These words may seem discouraging, and these odds may seem higher than getting your child admitted to an IIT. Yogananda ji would likewise quote Shankara when he said, "The child is busy with playthings. The youth is busy with sex and romance. The old are busy with sickness and worries. No one is busy with God." But rather than discouraging, this is a call to action for us to introspect. Just what are our ideals? What do we aspire toward? If we're already truly content, maybe there's nothing we need to aspire towards at the moment. But how many people do we know who are truly content? There was the survey that was made, and people were asked about their level of income, and were they satisfied? And the majority said, well, now if I earn just 10% more, then I would be satisfied. It didn't matter what income level they were at, if only they had 10% more. And is this what we really want? Do we want 10% more? How many of those people were happy when they had 10% more? Was that the solution? And it's good to aspire for more. But the question is, more of what? And often getting what we think we want brings only sorrow. Sri Yukteswar would tell the fable of a certain yogi who discovered a Kalyana Kalpatara, a wish-fulfilling tree. And with this tree, he got everything that he imagined. And first he imagined this beautiful palace, and there it was. And then he imagined, well, this palace needs some furniture and some carpets, and there they were. And so he would walk from room to room enjoying this beautiful palace until he came to a room on the ground floor which had a large open window, and it looked out onto the jungle. And then he heard quite close by the roar of a tiger. And then he imagined, well, that tiger is so close, he could just jump in the window and eat me. And of course, the tiger jumped in the window and ate him. And the moral of the story is that we should offer up our desires to God alone and let Him decide the fulfillment of those desires, not depend on our own desires and wishes in the matter, to seek only God's will, not our own will, because look at the trouble that it gets us into. In the Gita, Sri Krishna says further, the sage who has established himself firmly in me as the highest goal, him I look upon as indeed my own self. After many incarnations, the sage realizes me in my true nature. A person so illumined that he sees me as all-pervading is a rare person. Yet hard the wise Mahatma is to find, the man who says all is Vasudev. Krishna here is saying that if we have ideals, if we have aspirations, then we need to sit down, write down, clarify what are these ideals. Don't let them slip away, and strive to live up to them, even if it means sacrifice. Some people say, oh, I don't want to get really serious about meditation because then it'll seem like I'm different than my friends or my family. But if you do want to change, don't be satisfied with that status quo. Don't be satisfied with doing the minimum. Swami Kriyananda tells a story when he was a very young boy, and he came to his mother and he said, you know, I did this nice thing. Aren't I a good boy? And she responded, no, not necessarily. You did it because it was the right thing to do. You did it because you should do it. She expected more of him. She wasn't going to praise him just for doing his duty. And Swamiji himself said, most people take a long time to confront and change their shortcomings. They lack the incentive or the will to do so. They say, I'll get around to it someday. A thought my guru liked to express for our benefit was, eventually, why not now? Habits can be changed in a day. They are only the result of mental concentration. If one has been concentrating one way, he can simply determine to concentrate in a new way. Some 60 years ago, Swami Kriyananda lived in Italy. He was in India, rather. He was a young man in his 30s, and his job was to travel and to lecture. And he asked his guru in meditation, what kind of attitude should I have while I am lecturing? And this inspiration came to him. He said, to feel everyone I lecture to is my guru. To speak to the divine consciousness in each person. And instead of just conveying information, I should offer to the guru what I have to say. I dedicate what I have to say on the altar of his love. And by offering to the guru, he gives me his power, and he talks through me. And just as Swamiji did, we can choose just one aspect of our life, or maybe just one person in our life, and speak to the God within them. Speak to the divine consciousness within him. And then watch and see how our own attitudes change. I've done this many times, and the results have been immediate. And if we choose, then we can resolve from now on to live more in God, to include him in what we do, to share with him our every thought, and to offer the fruits of our labor to him. And eventually we can say too that God is all-pervading, that all is Vasudev. Thank you.
How high should we aspire is the topic of our satsang today. And I would say if we have enlightened avatars as our gurus, this is an indication that we should aspire pretty high. There's a quote in the Bible when Jesus is talking to his disciples, and he's saying, if you only aspire as high as the priests of the temple, which of course were the corrupt priests that he was always fighting against and trying to, anyway, he was always making mad and fighting against. He said, if you only ascribe that high, then aspire that high, then aren't you just like them? You know, how can you be spiritually evolved if you just hang around with spiritually ignorant people? And it's like if we are a tall person and we're standing in a room with small people, then we feel pretty tall, you know. But so if instead of standing in a room with small people, we should think of having satsang with our gurus and reading their books and listening to their voice and tuning into their vibration and thinking, now where do I stand exactly in this room? And that's how high we should aspire. We want to become like them. Swami Kriyananda wrote a book when he was 18 years old called The Land of Golden Sunshine. And he said that this book was more about his life, in some ways spoke more about his life than even his autobiography. And the book is about, interestingly, a young girl who works in a dreary factory in a dreary little town and works for a button factory and goes into this factory every single day and does the same thing that her mother did, that all the other ladies in the town have always done. And one day, when this girl, Lisa, is waking up in the morning, this beam of light comes into her room. It's this golden ray of light. And within this light is a golden being, a golden male being, who suddenly just bestows on her the most loving presence. And she is in awe. She's never been in such a loving presence before. And this golden being is just shining on her and enveloping her. And actually communicating to her that he's from this beautiful place where there's all harmony. And he describes the astral world, basically. But how the residents there all live in harmony. They all enjoy the beauty. There's beautiful music, beautiful colors. And as he's describing it, she's thinking, oh, I remember. I sort of feel like I've been to a place like that before and I'm having a memory. But then she's saying, what, me? You know, I just sew buttons and who am I? And I just, you know, I'm in this bickering little office all the time and phew, the being was gone. She was back in her dark room again. And so she went to the factory and was sewing her buttons and was thinking about this being and said, could it be that something like this is possible? And then he comes again. And he has the same wonderful, loving presence, this golden light enveloping her. And she just said, oh, you know, I'm just not worthy. I want to merge with you, but I'm not worthy. He's gone again. And then one last time he comes and he says, so many have refused me. So many have not had the courage to come with me, not had the courage of heart, the love to just come with me. Will you too refuse me? And suddenly she just had the courage and she stepped forward, and suddenly at the end of the book, the room is just empty and the golden beam disappears. And Swami said that when he was younger, he just felt that he longed for a place like heaven and that he never really felt like he fit in with this world. And so this story, when he wrote when he was 18, sort of identified him with what state he was in at that time. But then later on, after he had found his guru and was on the serious spiritual path, he said that he was always feeling God's presence after that, and that it didn't matter if he was with this golden being of light, or he no longer thought that heaven was somewhere else, that heaven was just where God was, because he was always feeling God's presence in serving his guru and in being with his guru. So I think that, that story I looked at recently, it just made me think, do we have the courage to have this much love, to go along with the guiding presence of our gurus, with the guiding presence of Divine Mother? Today is Divine Mother's Day. Her love for us. Do we have enough courage to open our hearts and receive that love? Are we big enough to receive all the love that she's willing to give us? And our gurus, they come back again and again. Yogananda said, if one stray brother is left behind, I will come back. And how much love is that? He did his many, many lifetimes of service and devotion and tapasya to become one with God. And then God asked him, please, there's people back where you came from. They're suffering. You need to go back and help them. How much love is there to say, yes, I will go, but go again and again and again? Do we have the capability of opening ourselves to that love and understanding the transforming power of that love? Because on the spiritual path, the mountain that we climb, as we climb higher, we can see more and more, the paths. We can see the tops of the hills perhaps, but we can also see the valleys. We can see our faults. We can see our flaws. And, there's different aspects of the path. Maybe when we first joined the path, it was talking about it all the time. Oh, I've read this book. I've read that book. I know all about this. But we're actually not doing any work. We're not doing anything to really make ourselves more spiritual or change ourselves. And then we become as Yogananda says, the naughty baby, perhaps, or the naughty chela who says, Master, I know you'll forgive me. I have all these faults, but I know you'll forgive me. So, and there was a guru of Swamiji's at the ashram that did something wrong. He knew he did something wrong. He willingly did it. And Yogananda came to find out about it. And the monk said, but Master, you'll forgive me, won't you? And Master said, well, what else can I do? Of course I'll forgive you. But with that kind of behavior, this is not how to get to the mountaintop, is it? And that's just like, okay, I'll only do energization once a week, or I'll only do the very minimum amount of kriyas, or I'll only do the very minimum amount of seva, and I can get by. But that really won't help us enlarge ourselves enough, go beyond all of our self-limitations to receive the love, the Divine Mother, that these masters are trying to give us. And then we go to the stage of Yato Dharma Tata Jaya. I am a warrior. I will serve. I will do what is asked of me. And I will become good. And I will, in Guru's name, be good. But still, it's like, I am doing this seva. I am doing this meditation. I am being this good. And as much as that's an improvement, it's still not what we're really looking for. It's like we want to get rid of that I altogether. I am not doing this. God, I am just a channel, and God is meditating through me. God is serving through me. God is loving through me. Because only when we get to that point are we able to overcome the ego. And if we look at the example that Yogananda gives us in Autobiography of a Yogi, look at these masters. They're all humble. They're all searching for Divine Mother. Yogananda just has an ongoing conversation with Divine Mother. And he goes to his gurus, and they're all, all of the disciples of Lahiri Mahashaya, of Sri Yukteswar. They're all serving, they're all giving, they're all loving. And Sri Yukteswar told Master, when I came to my guru, I was just guided by whims and fancies. But my guru disciplined me, and then I had inner freedom. Because we tend to think, I can do what I like. That is freedom. But as Keshava was saying earlier, what do we like? What do we like? we usually like the things that we have liked all our lives, and even last life and the life before that, because we carry them with us. It's like a constriction on our heart. It's a constriction on our capability to grow, because we tend to think, I will just do what I feel like doing. Or when it occurs to me, I can serve. When it occurs to me, I can be good. But otherwise, I'd like things my way. And this is how we overcome this constriction on our heart. It's like being in jail, actually. You know, we think we are free, but we're in jail. Because we're just running around in circles with the post of our ego, holding on. So how do we overcome that? How do we get out of jail? And, you know, Jesus said, love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. You know, loving God, loving devotion, we can understand that also. But loving our neighbor as ourselves, that's a little more difficult. So this is how we overcome the ego. We just have to think beyond our little self and say, what is best for them? What is best for these other people? Truly, my own happiness lies in the happiness of others. So what can I do to make them happy? How can I give them, even at detriment to myself? That is the way we overcome the ego. And it expands our own reality. Right now, we're just somehow caught with this ego, with our own self-definitions. This is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I like, this is what I need, this is what I don't like. I mean, we try to overcome that, but really, isn't that what runs our lives? Most of us? And so if we think, what does the other like? What does the other need? This is a way to overcome this prison of the ego. Swami makes the comparison of the waves. The stronger the wave, the higher the wave, the more it competes with other waves. The lower the wave, the more it hugs the ocean of spirit. When the storms of Maya come, the little wave, the small ego with hardly any ego left, it's very safe at the surface of the sea. It's not crashing and competing and fighting and upset and distressed and depressed, because it's just connected to the sea. And so when we think of what we can do, you know, one of the things the great saints do is just practice the presence of God. Practice being with Divine Mother. Pray to her all the time. Pray to the gurus all the time. And there really shouldn't be any major difference between our devotion and meditation and our devotion while we're walking down the street. We can have an ongoing conversation with her all the time. Divine Mother, look at this beautiful tree. Divine Mother, look at this traffic. Interesting. Divine Mother. But if you always bring her with you, then you'll never be without her. You can always be in heaven if you always have God with you. And then the other, of course, is what is coming to us. Have the faith that whatever growth is coming to us is a gift from Divine Mother. What is mine will come to me, will surely come to me. And if I'm attracting this, it must be for my growth. And we grow through challenges, we grow through difficult things that happen to us, because if it weren't a challenge, how would we grow? You know, if the worm doesn't have to fight his way out of the cocoon, how does it become a butterfly? So we get out of the prison of our limitations by going through struggles. What comes to us, let it come. It has come from the Guru. It has come from Divine Mother. Again, if we're seeing everything as Vasudev, then of course what's coming to me is from Divine Mother. And if we have the faith to know that there's nothing in my life that isn't God. God is the doer flowing through me, but every relationship is God to God. Every relationship. So if this is God that I'm having trouble with, I obviously have something I need to learn. If this is a difficult situation for me, then obviously I have something I need to learn. So that, and just having the faith and knowing that if I can feel God's presence in my meditation, I will be able to, should be able to feel my Guru's presence, Divine Mother's presence in every situation. And of course, this is why we meditate also. This is why we do Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga gives us the keys of overcoming our self-definition. If we can experience God's presence in meditation by centering our energy and offering it to God, all our limitations, all our self-definitions, if we can offer it to God, then more and more we'll be free of the boundaries that holds our heart. And we'll be able, like Keshava said, to feel God's presence everywhere. God bless you.